Hi and welcome to this selection of videos, tutorials that are all about creating beautiful masks, especially when we're talking about hair. And if we look at this image, there's a number of things wrong with this, and we're going to learn as a professional retoucher on how to actually get this look at its best. This is an image just took from the internet. It's a royalty-free image totally. So no attributes needed, but it's a great example of a photograph you could get where you need to do a lot to actually create a mask and grab that image from the background and to put it onto a different new layer. So the best way of doing that will be shown within these videos. And what we will get, if we look at the problems on this picture, you can see you've got out of focus areas around this bottom right there, some nasty discolouring, out of focus. We've got nasty flyaway hair there that really needs to be took out. And I'm going to show you the end result when you've completed all the tutorials of what you should end up with. So hopefully we go from this, and you can see all the out of focus areas and the flyaways there, and we will end up with this. So we've took the image away. You can see we've still got flyaways, but they're more controlled. We've got focus brought back to the areas of the hair where it was lost. So if we just look at this bottom right, can you see the difference? We've cleaned up areas. We've look at the shoulder on the model. We've got like all smudged here for some reason. We've cleaned all that up, and the process will show you how to create these beautiful cutouts with all the flyaway controlled and bringing back areas of focus back to the hair. So that is what these tutorials are all about. So we'll take you on to the first video where you'll learn the first process. Okay, hello and welcome to this lesson. I'm going to be looking at a lot in this course of lessons. Basically, it's going to be more than one video and very in-depth. And we're looking at images sort of like this, where we've got all this flyaway hair that you can see, and we want to learn how to extract this from the background in the best possible, most professional way, so that we can maybe use this on another background, or even just tidy it up and neaten it up and put it back onto the original background, whatever the case may be. But we're looking at it from the eyes of a professional retoucher. And really, if you're getting into this type of work, what you need to get is a graphics tablet, because you're not going to be able to do some of the things that I'm doing in this video training without one. And that's because we're going to be actually dealing with the really fine detail of hair and replacing areas of hair, and that's just going to be virtually impossible with a mouse. You can do it, I have done it actually, but you need a really large picture if you are going to attempt it with a mouse, because you need really fine lines, and you're not going to get fine lines if you've got like a cropped image. It needs to be a full-size blown image from straight from the camera basically. But you don't get the same results. So basically you need a good graphics tablet. I use a Wacom professional unit, and really you can't beat those. And if you want to save money in the long run, and you're going to be working and doing this professionally, then invest in one, because they are a standard for graphics tablets. Okay, so let's imagine I'm a retoucher and we've had this image come to us. This is actually from the internet. It's a complete royalty-free image. So there's no attributes or anything required on this image, and I'm just using it as an example. It's a great example to show you an image with lots and lots of problems. So it's highlighting what the problems are. So what I'm going to do first of all is go to the layers, And as always, if you watch my tutorials, the first thing I do is to click on there, or right click or control click on the map, on the Mac, sorry, and duplicate the layer. So we're protecting our original image. We're not going to alter this background image whatsoever. And the background copy, what we're going to do first of all is to create another new layer. So if we go down to the bottom there and click on new layer, so on the new layer icon, and I'm just going to use a pen with a suitable colour. Just make that a bit larger, so a bit larger size there. And what I want to do is just basically go around and highlight all the problems. So I'm going to mark up all this soft area there. That I don't know what's happened there. It looks like it's been blurred or whatever. I want to get rid of all these flyaways. So basically I want to be working and making an initial selection of these areas. The air's a bit messy down there. Do I want to get rid or keep that? We'll keep some of it. We'll actually neaten this up. So we will keep this air. So I'm just marking the air that I want to keep, and we'll probably come down to there, eradicate this area and get rid. The inside of the air is not too bad, so I'm not too worried about that. We'll keep these areas. I think I'll take out that area there to the right of that. So this is the area that we're keeping. So this just helps me analyse problem areas and the areas that we want to keep. So it just gives me a rough guide that I can refer back to at any time. And you can draw notes on here. So you know, this bit I actually want to keep, so we'll keep that in there. And we want to get rid of all these flyaways on the outside of the image. So the methods I'm going to show you may amaze some people, because is that the type of thing you do? Because what I'm actually going to do is make a selection and to get rid of the flyaways and everything. We'll be just taking that straight away, and people say, well, shouldn't you use, you know, masking techniques to, you know, select a mask to try and retain all these fine airs? Well, in some cases it may be okay to do that, but if you're working professionally, you're not going to get great results. Quite often those hairs don't look great after you've subtracted them, and this is a much more professional way to work, as you'll see when we complete this, that we get a really realistic, professional looking image, you know. So we're doing it the way a professional retoucher would do. So these are tested techniques. Okay, so we've got our layer there. That's going to be put into a folder. So I'm going to create a folder there and drag this and put into that. So it goes inside our folder. I'm just going to call this help, because that's things basically that aren't going to be on the image. And I can hide that by closing the eye, and anything within that folder I can, you know, so if I need to highlight things, I can create a layer and just mark out what I want and what I'm going to do, and that's handy if I pass the image on to anybody else for completing the image. They can look at my notes and guidelines. Okay, so now we need to click on this layer. Now we're actually going to use the pen tool to make a selection around this, and a brand new pen tool just come out in the latest edition. A great improvement on the traditional pen tool, I think, especially if you're not used to using a pen tool. It works with you and makes things a lot easier to work. So we're going to be using the curvature pen tool. Now if you haven't got that, you need to go to your tool options and add it. So You shouldn't be able to do that. If you're not sure how to do that, you can look it up on YouTube. I won't go through that. Okay, so we start off and we're working to the inside, just to the inside of the line. So you can see I can click and I can transform these. And when we're working around the hair, I want to be working just to the inside. I don't want to get these flyaways on there. I'm working to the inside of the main body of the hair. And anything that's got no thickness is basically going to be thrown away. So I don't want to try and get all these individual hairs. I'm working to the main body of the hair. Probably come out a little bit there. I'm not going to worry about this strand, that we'll add later. And I'm only working to the silhouette of the shape that I want. If I double click, that will create a straight line, and then I can, so anywhere you get something that's coming out by double clicking, you'll convert to a straight line and really help you get that selection. And I'm not too worried because I can adjust this later on. I can always bring back areas using a mask. Double click there, see that'll convert that to a straight line, and I can edit these areas. So I've just clicked back on there on the first one, and that's created that's closed the path. So I'll just make sure these are down to the bottom there, and then all I'm going to do on these is just double click on each point, and that will give me a straight line. So any curves you can convert to a straight line by clicking on the previous point, double clicking, and that will convert it. Okay, so let's just have a look at that. So if we go to the layers, and I'm going to hide the bottom layer. Okay, so having done that, and we've now got our path there, we need to save the path. So we need to go to the paths. Now I have the paths on the right hand side here, but if you haven't got the paths, go to Window and select Paths from Window. So that's the one that I've created. That's my work path. I'm just going to double click on that, and that allows you to give it a name to save it. And I'll call it Silo, which is basically for silhouette. And that's a common name that retouchers use for the actual silhouette of their selections. So that, and the paths, so that's nice to keep to the standards and use that. Okay, so that's our first selection. Now, what we need to do is make sure we're on the correct layer, which we are. So I'm just going to go back to the paths. And what we're going to do with this is to make the selection, so using this actual path. So to do that, I hold down the Command key on a Mac, Control on a Windows PC, and I'll just click on that, and there's the selection. So now I go to my layer, and I go down to my mask. So this will add the layer mask, and we just click on that, and there's our layer mask. Now I've hidden the background layer so we can see what the selection looks like. Okay, so it looks very neat. It looks too neat, doesn't it? And that's exactly what we wanted. There's a little bit of dark area around here. I'm not too worried about that. We'll probably correct that later, but that's basically what we want. We want a nice clean cut selection that takes away any flyaways or anything like that. And of course it looks unreal, and that's what we're going to learn, is how to make it look real, how to bring back some controlled flyaway air and whatever, and also correct areas where, such as this down here, where it's very fuzzy and very out of focus. We're going to make that better and make it look a lot neater. And we could also probably touch up a little few areas where we've got some crossover hairs, but actually it's not too bad on this. The hair as a whole is not too messy on the inside, but we'll have a look at that as well.